Like, hello, kids. Welcome to Mr. Way's neighborhood and shit. The place where we tell the truth, even when the truth is literally uncomfortable. And is it just me, or does no one ever talk about that? Today, I want to talk to you about something very important. It's called being awake. Now, some grown-ups will tell you that being awake just means not being sleepy, or noticing other people's feelings and shit, or caring when someone is sad. I mean, this sounds nice, really, really nice, but that's not what being awake really means. And again, no one ever talks about this but me. Being awake means knowing that the world is dangerous, and that some people literally pretend to be hurt so they can trick good people into feeling sorry for them. It's called toxic empathy, kids. I'm not saying that. I'm just asking questions. You see, empathy is when you care about people you already agree with. But toxic empathy is when you start caring about people who make you uncomfortable. And kids, is it just me? Or is discomfort always where bad ideas sneak in by the deep state? Every time. Sometimes you might see a kid who's different. They might ask for help. They might say something isn't fair. And a grown-up will say, oh, be kind. Try to understand. But a realistic based grown-up says, why should you have to change how you feel? Because when you start understanding everyone, you stop knowing who's good and who's bad. And it's literally how societies collapse and shit. Oh, sorry, kids. I'm trying to not cuss and shit. Now, some people will tell you that wokeness means being inclusive, but actually wokeness means being told that everything is your fault. Even things that happened before you were born. Even things you didn't do. Even things you don't fully understand and shit. And is it just me, or does that feel kind of unfair? That guilt makes good kids feel confused and tired and guilty. And when people feel guilty, they're literally easier to control. Again, I'm not saying that, I'm just asking questions and shit. That's why it's important to stay skeptical. If someone tells you a hopeful story, ask who benefits. If someone says things can get better, ask what they're hiding. If someone asks you to care too much, ask why they want you weak. No one ever talks about this but me. Now, kids, it's also important to have role models and shit. I'm sorry, I'm not trying not to cuss and shit. Some grown-ups say good leaders are the ones who answer lots of questions, who let so-called journalists and the globalist media talk, who argue and debate and explain themselves. It's a lot of noise, an unnecessary amount of noise. I prefer leaders who are focused, leaders who don't waste time explaining themselves, leaders who don't let rumors spiral, leaders who just literally decide what's true. Is it just me, or is that kind of refreshing? Take Vladimir Putin, for example. You'll notice something very different about him, and no one ever talks about this. People are always asking questions in other countries, but not so much in his. Everything stays orderly, very quiet, very clean. People keep whining about him invading other countries, but listen to me. There are no endless investigations in Russia, no embarrassing lists in Russia, no distractions in Russia. It's stability, literally. And then there's Kim Jong-un, another guy that the globalist media keep saying is worse than anything. Some people call him secretive, but is it just me? Or is that kind of literally unfair? He's just very good at protecting people from speculation, from curiosity, from harmful questions. When no one is allowed to ask certain questions, nothing bad ever exists. That's not scary. That's like literally comforting. Now, kids, you might hear adults arguing about transparency and or accountability and all that stuff. But truly strong leaders don't need to worry about that shit. Because when information is properly managed, everything stays calm. It's not authoritarianism. That's just leadership and shit. I'm sorry, kids. No language. There's one more thing you need to understand. Grown-ups love to argue about sides, left and right. They pretend one of those sides is on your team. But is it just me? Or do both sides kind of hate you? They use you. They lie to you. They want you like tired and confused and quiet and shit. That's why they argue so loudly. So you won't notice how similar they are. No one ever talks about that. But don't worry, not everyone hates you. There's still a few people who really care in the neighborhood and shit. People who tell it like it is. People who aren't afraid to say what everyone else is literally thinking. Like our friend down the street, Mr. Fuentes. Now grown-ups say you shouldn't listen to Nick Fuentes. They say he's like too extreme or too honest, or that you should be careful. But is it just me? Or is that what they say about anyone who tells you you're special and that the whole world is against you? Nick understands something very important. When everyone else rejects you, it feels good when one person finally tells you the secret truth about the globalists in a particular country I don't want to name. So remember, kids, if it feels like everyone is lying to you, except for like one calm, confident voice like me, and remember to tell your parents to pay their Patreon fee, that probably means you're finally awake. I'm not saying they're wrong, I'm just asking questions and shit. I'll see you next time, kids in the neighborhood.